Hello.
Hi!
And welcome to another episode of Volume 1 Live.
Yay!
Hope everybody's having a fantastic Monday.
Monday!
Not used to saying Monday.
Hope this makes your Monday better.
Hopefully this makes your Monday a lot better. I feels like we haven't, we did Blue Flag for our 200th episode, but
Yeah.
feels like we haven't done this in a long time. Like, again, reviewed this kind of series.
Yeah.
One for us.
One for us.
One for us.
Yeah, that was the directors are like, I do one for the studio, one for me.
Yeah, one for the studio, one for me. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about Dead Demons, D Destruction. You can see it here by Inio Asano, the mangaka of Goodnight Punpun. And actually, I hadn't read anything from this mangaka other than Punpun ever. So this was kind of, I was really excited going into it because, you know how we feel about Punpun over here.
Yeah. Punpun stands. Punpun stands for life. Will I read it again? Maybe not. But I've always been interested in his other works. I think the other one is called Solanin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But just his artwork, like even this cover, like it just it draws you in and is like, read me.
Yeah. His artwork is amazing.
His artwork is so amazing, and I mean, he just draws like the cutest girl characters. I mean, the whole cast of like the main female, like the cast, like all the friends, the two main girls, like they're just so adorable and cute. And it is like the mixture of like having these cute ass characters deal with like the most like melancholic feelings, and it makes you feel that too. It's like cute mixed with like dread, which is like what he does best.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I also just am a sucker for his art. Like, his art is phenomenal, and he's someone who has said that he uses photographs a lot for his backgrounds, which is something that I feel like artists are a little more weary to take advantage of at times. I think it's a beautiful way to capture this sort of realism, kind of, I guess, juxtaposed against the, like you said, the way he draws his characters. And what's like really cool about this series too is there is some slightly less realistic qualities, traits, like aesthetically, about how he draws his main characters, but even more so in the background. Some of the background characters are goofy, dude.
Yeah,
they look crazy.
Yeah.
And
it is like a different type of crazy. Like with Oyasumi Punpun, like the characters almost seemed like scary, a lot of them. These are just like goofy, like you said. Everything's kind of like goofy. Nothing's really taken like too seriously, which I think is like definitely a theme of the manga. Like, everything's happening, what's happening, and no one really is like, they're taking it seriously, but at the same time they're like joking about it online, and it's just like so similar to like what has happened in our society in the past 2 or 3 years.
Dude. It's so hard to not want to compare everything to that, especially since this was written before. All of everything that we went through.
Towards the end, it finished, I think, in 2022. So it was like 2014 to 2022. So it was just like, he's probably right in the end of this, like, damn, wow, like look at this, like it's so relevant. It's so relevant now. And to write this a year after Oyasumi Punpun was finished, he went straight into it. And of course, anyone would be like, damn, like, because everyone, Oyasumi Punpun's hyped.
Yeah, for sure.
For good reason, because it's really good. So I can only imagine the pressure of having to deliver on something else that's like, honestly, not completely different, but they're very, very, very different. Different type of feeling. This is, it's kind of like not the happiest, but it's definitely not.
It's definitely not Punpun
in that realm. And you can't compare it. You can't compare it at all. I wouldn't compare it at all. The only thing I would compare it to is like the background work and like, that type of melancholic feeling, and the dialogue between characters is so like, sometimes like brash and like really just like not realistic.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
that's
like intrusive thoughts are winning, and they're saying everything that they shouldn't be saying out loud.
That's what we were talking about with the characters, and all the character designs. Because I've heard people say that the character designs are a strike sort of contrast between the realistic backgrounds and the less realistic characters. But even though aesthetically they might be less realistic than people have compared to even the character designs in Punpun, what I think about his writing is that they're so believable as like people in general. These characters and their friendship and the things that they say and the ways that they interact with each other are so believable and so real, and especially in a situation that they are in a world that they are in, which is a crazy world. And even for as something as wild as an alien invasion, their reaction to it, or the world's reaction to it, is also pretty believable if the circumstances were the same as they are in this series.
Yeah, and I like the separation that we get throughout the first volume completely of just like the news. You hear all these bad things on the news, or you hear these like developments, and they sound like so insane, but the people like just living in that reality are like, honey, there's another there's another spaceship right here, but did you want me to pick you up some food on the way home? Like, it's just like the mundane like just lifestyle of just like, this is what we're living with. And that's kind of how it was the past 3 years. It's been like, you hear all of these things and you're kind of just like, you see it all around you, but you're just kind of separated from it because it's that's not your necessary like real. Like, it's just a crazy comparison.
But that's what I'm saying. It's so hard to not compare it to that, aspects of this to that, because
because it's like so similar.
It's so similar. We're gonna go through and we're gonna tell you, if you don't know anything about this series, the synopsis, so you know more about what we're talking about. But of course, Inio Asano, Punpun. Downfall is another one of his series that I really want to check out, but this guy is incredible, an incredible storyteller, an incredible artist, and I was really excited to read this. It's also the first series of his ever that's going to be adapted into an anime,
which will be very interesting.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting.
Very interesting to see. I mean, I think they can pull it off. It will, like, the studio that's doing it is Production Plus H, which also did Orbital Children, which I did not watch, but it was...
Orbital Children, I saw some trailers for it, and it looked amazing. It looked really, really good. I don't know why I never got around to watching it, but it is something that that maybe I'll check out now with this information, just to see what it might end up looking like.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I mean, I'm sure they're like, how I visualize it, it is so much like, I think on their like homepage of they had like a little like video, just like a visual like, I don't know what you call it.
It's kind of like a trailer, but it's also just showing Asano in the studio, right?
Yeah.
Looking over some panels that they are working on for the anime.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really show you any of the animation. It just shows him in the studio.
And I would assume that he would be involved because it is his first anime ever. So I have high hopes.
Yeah.
Because he is like, even in Punpun 2, it is not similar to Fujimoto, but he is a person that does like to make it kind of like have the cinematic feel. So I'm very interested to see how they adapt it with him kind of overlooking it.
I kind of put Asano in the same category, and I know maybe it's blasphemous to compare the two, and maybe they don't need to be compared, but when I read something of Asano's, and this is, again, only the second thing I've read, but after completing Punpun, I just compare sort of his worlds and some of his tendencies in his art to Urasawa. Like, they just have like a very similar feel to me at times, even though they are incredibly different mangakas. But I kind of put them, in the same at the same level, in the same camp, even though Urasawa, I think, might be a couple steps above, just because he's a godfather of manga. But that's just kind of how I feel when I read both of their stories. So let's give everybody a synopsis, just in case you don't know what this series is about, and then I'll talk more about why it was so hard to not compare it to the events of the past couple of years. Take it away, Mehgan.
Okay. 3 years ago, the aliens invaded Tokyo. Nothing was ever the same again. But after a while, even impending doom starts to feel ordinary. So funny, because it's just, like 3 years has passed, nothing's really happened too drastic, and they're like, well, it did, and then there was like, this is daily life now. Yeah. The Japan self-defense forces are still looking for a way to combat the aliens' threat, but so far conventional weapons have had no effect. Maybe it's time to try something unconventional. Meanwhile, Kadode Koyama and her best friend avidly track the aliens' movements on social media and less enthusiastically study for college entrance exams. When the end of the world looms overhead, you learn to take things one step at a time.
Yes.
Or I wouldn't even bother.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that too. And just really quick, because we didn't do it at the beginning, I do want to shout out everybody who is here now with us live, whether you're watching this back later, which you can also do, or if you're listening to the audio version of this, which you can also do. I do want to take the time to shout out everybody who's here with us now. Appreciate you being here. And you're going to want to stay tuned to the end of this episode. These are our Volume 1 lives where we do what we do in our Volume 1 episodes, review the first volume of a new series. And we do have a portion towards the end of these streams where we do a live Oneers Circle, Volume Oneers Circle, where we, kind of respond to any questions or comments you guys have about the series or anything else at all. But speaking of people in the chat, we did get a donation that we absolutely must shout out. And that donation comes from Batman for real. Shout out Batman. This is the real Batman.
The real one.
And he's not joking. He's for real.
He's not there's no jokes here.
Just sending some love and some dollar signs, some money. Love Josh's shirt. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you so much. I'm rocking the Soul King shirt today. It's a new shirt that I got. I got another One Piece shirt that I'm going to be wearing in our live on Wednesday, our community live, which if you don't know, every Wednesday we go live and we cover more anime, manga, news, stuff, everything happening. One Piece Day just passed. There's a lot of news, a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to save all that stuff for Wednesday, and I'm going to save the reveal of my other One Piece shirt that I got for Wednesday too. It's such a cool shirt. But shout out Batman for real. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you so much. So yeah, basically like Mehgan said, reading the synopsis, there was an alien invasion, and I love the way that it's written. What if there was an alien invasion but nothing happened? Like, how long would it take for people to just start living again as if nothing was happening? This end of the world sort of incident doesn't really change anything. But I remember being a kid so many times, and I don't know, I'm sure you can relate to this too. I remember being a kid and relating to these characters too in this first volume so much, because I was a little bit of a rebel myself.
You
know, and I remember being in school and people telling me that like they tell everybody, I think, that you got to start thinking about college, you got to start thinking about this, you got to start thinking about that. And I was like, but what if the world just ended? Like, what if the world just ended? And at the time, I was like, that'd be kind of sick, because they look like fools. They'd be like,
yeah, they'd be thinking about you in their final moments. Like, damn, I'm such an idiot for telling Josh to be on top of his academics and go to college.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd be thinking about you.
Beamed up,
I'm so stupid. I said all that shit to Josh.
But I guess it was more so because I was thinking, I just want to. We never know what's going to happen. Like, life is so unpredictable, and so I just want to like do what I want to do and have fun doing whatever it is that I choose to do. And I just saw so many people at that age, I felt like, especially being a lot younger, who were just like unhappy doing what they were doing and working really hard to be in more debt. And it was just so confusing to me. And, I feel like all the time there's like, the news likes to overreact to things or be extra dramatic about things. So many times, it's felt like it's going to be the end of the world. And every time as a younger adult, I would always think like, see? I was right. It was a waste of time to do.
That was you in 2012, huh?
Yeah.
In 2012, you were sitting back and like,
Yeah.
When everyone was convinced that the world was going to end. I remember in 2012, on that exact day, the doomsday, when everyone was planning for 2012,
right,
me and my cousin Nolan stood up at the top of his cul-de-sac, and we had backpacks full of water. We had like food, supplies, weapons. We didn't know what was going to go down, and we sat at the top of the cul-de-sac and like waited for something to happen. And then it was probably like around 6, and his mom's like, come in, like there's dinner. And then we just like kind of gave up.
Yeah.
But we were ready. We were prepared. We're like, we're not going to be like these stupid idiots that are just sitting in their homes not knowing what's going on. Like they're telling us that this is the end. It didn't happen.
I remember also Y2K. I remember.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember that. And okay, don't react that way. You're such a jerk. It doesn't require that dramatic of a response to just me being alive at a certain point.
I was alive too.
Okay.
But I didn't have I wasn't talking or anything. I wasn't able to talk.
I was forming complete sentences. I was up and about, you know.
You were up and about waiting for Y2K to happen.
But I do remember it, and I do remember being, I was still young when it happened, but I was like old enough to remember everything about it.
Because everyone was scared.
Everybody was terrified, but as an adult, like, were the adults really terrified, or was I hearing everything I was hearing, and then as a kid I was a lot more afraid than the adults were because I was a kid and more naive? I don't know.
I heard a lot of people were like, because that was one of the first times I think, like, I don't know, it was just so hyped that like everyone kind of unanimously, yeah.
Unanimously.
A lot of unanimously. No, unanimously. They all kind of decided like, yeah, this is probably where it's gonna end, because like Mayan calendars or like,
yeah, and then
whatever
I heard something
it is.
like people were saying that all the at that point we had started relying more on like automated systems and stuff for like banking and for all of these things, and that there wasn't anything in these systems that was going to like be able to switch over to the 2000s to track things. So records and things and systems were going to crash, and that was going to mean like all of these things were going to start falling apart, and everybody was like, even if it doesn't mean the end of the world, like from an external source, like because of like the systems that we have in place, everything's going to fall apart from the inside, and then it's gonna spread across the world.
I mean, what if like that wasn't based off of that theory, and someone just kind of started spreading that rumor because they're like, this New Year's Eve party has to be the best I've ever thrown, or like the best I've ever had. Right. So we were just like, oh, you hear the world's gonna end, and it's like, you know, it incites people to like party harder.
Right. Yeah. That's an interesting.
Yeah. Like the world's gonna end, let's party hard. You know, it's like the ultimate party. Like,
I do think there had to be someone who did believe the world was gonna end and just got like the most fucked up they've ever been in their life.
Oh yeah, and they're like, oh, next year, like I'm gonna celebrate that it didn't end.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then it just keeps going. And they're like, damn, Mary gets fucked up.
Yeah, Mary's just an alcoholic.
Mary gets fucked up every time we have a New Year's party because she's thinking about all the way to Y2K and how the world didn't end.
Well, we got to shout out another donation from Metal Underground. What a cool ass username. This series looks really interesting. Just picked up volume 1 of Crazy Food Truck, which I've heard good feedback about. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Metal Underground.
I've been wanting to read that so bad.
Yeah, Megan's been really wanting to check that series out.
I'm probably gonna pick it up next time I go to Barnes.
Yeah. The art, you showed me the cover of it, and just from the cover alone and the title "Crazy Food Truck," I mean, it does look.
It's like an apocalyptic food truck.
Sick.
Like,
I'm hooked.
Sick.
I'm in.
And we have a tan girl representation. We got tan girl representation in the manga. Like, I have to read it.
Yeah, you have to. And speaking of donations, we got another donation.
Heck, you guys?
Shout out, you guys. This one comes from Adriano Alves, who says, Megan's reaction to you remembering the Y2K hurt me too, Josh. # feels old as fuck. I'm glad that I could share, we could commiserate, we could share that pain together.
Commiserate.
It really stung. It stung, dude. And it's like, I was just, all I did was be born, you know, at a certain time in a certain year. That's all I did. But Megan felt the need to really attack me for that.
No, it's just sometimes it just happen. I don't mean it to happen, but then I'm like,
it's worse when you don't mean it to happen.
I know.
It's like way less hurtful if you're like hamming it up, but if it's a genuine reaction, it hurts.
That one was.
I know, and then you saying it like over and over.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, shout out. Thank you so much again. Gotta get my bearings.
But yeah, I mean, this manga made me just think about, if something this drastic were to happen when I was almost graduating high school, how much would I feel motivated to do anything?
Right.
It has been like 3 years, so they've been dealing with this since like they started high school. Which is crazy to think about, is because, the thing that we related to that just happened recently, 2 years ago, a lot of kids were in the same boat. They like didn't get to have a graduation. Some of them didn't go to college. Like they went to college online for like 2 years, and now they're finally able to go in class. And like, that's crazy to think about.
Right.
How everything just kind of like stopped. And here you would think that would be the same way, but 3 years later, I'm sure they like were staying inside because they, imagine like just 2 years of just like, what if like one day they're just gonna do it?
And there are people in this world who have it has had like lasting effects on. Like there are people like our main character's mom who has kind of gone off the deep end a little bit, which honestly is kind of like very understandable. I mean, there's a giant, like, I think everybody else who's walking around normal is weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's also people talking about there being like A-rays in the atmosphere because of the weapons that they're using against these aliens. But, especially the amount of years, 3 years, and everything being normal. I remember, not to go on too much of a tangent, but I remember when everything surrounding the pandemic was first starting to unfold, and just the layers of reality starting to kind of like hit you. And there was a point where panic and everything was at a high for me and everybody surrounding me. And it was, I especially at the time had a roommate at the time who was just like convinced that everything was over, that everything was done.
Yeah.
And that there was going to be martial law and like all these things were going to happen, and they were going to start like people in riot gear were going to start like, locking us in our homes, and they were going to be patrolling our streets. And
I mean, it's crazy that didn't happen here, but it's like still happening in other places, which is like insane. But it is this thing where here it's like it's a force that they can't really control, same as like what we were dealing with, but people can control, not going outside when they weren't supposed to. And it was just like,
but then you look at it, right, and you look at like how just like a little bit of time passed, and it is still this thing that is we're very much still dealing with. But
or it's like, did it happen,
or did it happen, right? Is another
was that
feeling.
Like my reality, like everyone was just on summer break. That's what it felt like. Everyone just like was a kid again and just like got to be on summer and like not do anything for a couple months. Like that was wild.
And I know it's maybe not appropriate to say, and I do acknowledge that it was a very bad time for a lot of people, and a lot of people
humanity.
A lot of people. It wasn't a good time for some people, and some people lost people, and people lost their lives. But for me personally, I acknowledge all that. But for me personally, and I feel my heart goes out to anybody who had to experience any of that.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I mean, I honestly kind of had a great time. Like, I honestly kind of had.
It was sad seeing all the things that were happening around me, but I remember in the place of my life where I was before it happened, I just felt like so burnt out from like life in general. I was just kind of like walking around, doing what you do, being told I need to do this, I need to do that. And me just being like, damn, like, is this all it is? It's never going to stop. Like, this is never going to stop. Like, life is just going to keep, it's just, this is it. And then it happened. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like, this was a much needed break from reality.
Yeah, dude. Especially because, like, not only are you taking a break, but you know that you can take a break because the world's taking a break.
Exactly. It's so, like the weight. Yeah. Like, it's like I
got to keep up with everybody.
Yeah.
That pressure is gone.
Yeah. That's how it felt. Yeah.
But that's the same thing that I couldn't help but relate to in this first volume. And before we start going through it a little bit more, we do have to shout out another donation.
What?
from a beautiful member of our community, Bizarre Gold.
Monkey to Luffy.
Who says, so many people out there waiting for something crazy to happen for their life to really start or something. It must suck to have something out of the ordinary, but you still gotta go to school.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because that's the thing, right? You wait and wait and wait, and then nothing happens, and then you're like, damn, you know. And I'm not saying I was right to be thinking all that stuff when I was a younger man, but it is just like how I thought, you know, I was a person who felt like the systems in place were, you know, kind of silly.
Corrupt,
you know. That's why I like One Piece so much, dude, because, you know, the government, you know, fuck the government.
Yeah, I was like, the government is good. The government is, what are you going to say?
But yeah, so any other... We've kind of talked about how we felt like a lot of the situations, or the big situation in this series, we were able to like relate to it. But other than that, characters and story, art, we kind of touched on. But, you know, what were you expecting kind of going into this after reading Punpun, and that being the only Asano work you had read, I think, right?
Yeah. I was definitely expecting the like wackier dialogue, and the kind of like here's the plot, but I'm going to kind of branch out and do like 7 different other things that are going to be happening at the same time. Like that kind of chaotic feel I got reading Punpun is what I kind of felt reading this. And I knew that it would kind of be like that. It's kind of like, not like scatterbrain, but it's kind of all over the place, which is like fun to read because there's so much happening and you just kind of feel like you're just watching these people live out their lives. And it is slice of life. So I was really curious to see like what that was about, how he would be able to like handle that. And it definitely leans more on the side of, like I said, not being like a happy, relaxing slice of life. It is more of like a chaotic, like I don't want another word to describe it, like a chaotic, like I keep using melancholic. That's the best word I can use to describe like how I feel reading these things, because it is like these heavier topics that make you like sad, but like you don't know why. And that's what it makes me feel. And I really like the way he like writes dialogue between characters, because I guess it's like intrusive thoughts. Like everyone's intrusive thoughts are like happening, and there are some story elements that were similar characters, I guess, that we've seen in his works before. Like, you know, we've seen the crazy mom.
Yeah, that's what I was.
We've seen the older man with the high school girl.
Right. Yeah, that's yeah.
So there's things that like right off the bat I was like, yep, there he is, Asano.
I mean, there are, you know, moments that could be considered slightly, Punpun is dark, and this isn't as dark. Even though characters might have similar relationships with similar characters, or things might feel familiar, it's not as dark, for sure. The mom character is maybe in the first volume as bad as it gets for this character.
Yeah.
Because even though she's a high school girl vying for the affection of her teacher does not reciprocate at all.
Yeah, and that was like a clear difference of like, I think intentional being like, this is what I showed you here. And this person gave in versus this person who said, I'm not going to make that mistake. There's too much at stake.
Yeah.
And it was like a very like adult person versus a very immature adult. You know? Both in relationships, like so similar.
Yeah, actually,
and even the apartment looked so similar too. And I love how he draws people's homes with them just being lived in. That everything has to be clean. You know, things are like kind of scattered everywhere. Things are cramped. Like I love that.
And another donation we got a shout out from Emperor Ekoof. Shout out, thank you so much for the donation.
Thank you.
Man, I remember reading this manga before the pandemic. It truly is life imitates art. It really is. It's kind of scary. I mean, it is kind of scary. There's a lot of other things you can compare this or call the inspiration for these visitors in the sky, you know, and how some people react to them. Of course, we've only read the first volume, and I think we're both curious to read more. It is a series that is complete as of this recording, but as it goes further into certain characters' beliefs and how they react and respond and different roads people go down. I don't know every specific plot detail because I didn't want it to be spoiled, but
yeah, same.
But I do know that it does take some interesting, goes down some interesting roads with some characters, and even the cliffhanger that we kind of leave the first volume on is kind of crazy and makes me want to continue reading.
Yeah. Definitely.
I do agree with everything that you said about it, and especially there being moments of similarity, but I do think this is a really different story, and I like how it opens and how there's this almost parallel between our main characters and our main characters' like favorite manga series, which is a series called Isobian, which is like a mushroom character who is like an alien or someone from the future with future technology.
Yeah, he's like a takopi.
Honestly, yes, like a takopi.
Yeah, because he says that he comes from the future to make a character in the manga happy, and I was like, oh.
But and he's got a little flying saucer with him too.
Yeah,
and the characters do resemble the main characters from the story.
Yeah. So like that person, I think, was the person that we meet at the end of the first volume.
Right, or it could be the guy that she has a crush on in school. I know it's hard for people to see when we're just looking at this ourselves.
Yeah, sorry,
guys. I'll try to pull up some panels for.
We were saying the Doraemon parody. Is he an alien?
I never watched or read Doraemon.
No, me either. That's the cat
but
thing, right?
I think it's the blue cat.
Blue cat.
I think it's still going on. I think
it's still going Doraemon and on.
Doraemon and on. But I like how it calls itself, a masterpiece comedy in the beginning, and so hilarious you'll bust a gut. And it does have that old school kind of manga art style. And then, like you said, just cutting to our main character's room, and like you said, lived in. I completely agree with. I mean, she needs some cable. What is it? What do people call it? Some cable control in here, dude. There's a fire about to break out in this girl's room.
I love it. All the details of every cord and all the things that are just left. It seems so real, and I love that about Punpun too.
Berth and Adriano are saying that Doraemon is future mech, says RoboCat from the future. Yeah.
RoboCat from the future. That's cute.
And so I guess we can start going through it a little bit now. But I really did like this series a lot, based on its first volume. It goes back and forth, and I like how this thing. And we might be a little biased or whatever. I don't know. We just saw Nope recently too, and so it's just like aliens, UFOs, like all this stuff. But I like how this phenomena, this thing, this world-changing event is constantly happening in the background of these other two characters' lives.
Yes.
Pretty much. And I like that a lot. And I'm curious as to see, because I've also heard, not to spoil anything, I've also heard that it does actually end up giving you some pretty fulfilling, I guess, answers to things or satisfying answers to things.
Okay.
So, and yeah, you're not necessarily expecting that because there are so many slice of life elements to this.
That's what I was saying. I was very curious to see if it did have like that, like those types of reveals towards the end, or like an overarching thing that gets tied together because it is so slice of life. I wasn't sure if they, like, Asano would end it on a note that way. But I'm sure like throughout this, like I like the the impending doom type of feeling of like, things are only going to get worse from this moment. And it's not like it's a slower burn, not, it being kind of shown to what the extent's going to be in the first volume. I like how it's spread out. I like having little bits of information here and there. And that's in any type of like apocalyptic or like zombie apocalypse or anything like that. I like having it kind of grow as a kind of problem, I guess, and it not being kind of taken too seriously in the beginning.
Right.
And that's people's downfall.
Yeah. So let's go through it. So it opens, like I said, on that Isobian, I guess Doraemon. Now it's very clear Doraemon sort of parody. And again, I do think that because the characters in this resemble the main characters of the story so much that there is a lot of parallels between what's happening in this manga within a manga. I do think that essentially it did remind me a little bit of Takopi, in that this girl is relying on this mushroom aliens technology to be happy and to solve kind of all of her problems, which is also interesting too, because we don't know within the first volume the relationship that the aliens, or the feelings that the aliens have towards the humans. We I guess humanity has assumed that they are they have some sort of vicious intent, but they're not doing anything. And so humans are even starting to call them weak and a failed invasion. But they're not. They're just kind of chilling. They're just kind of chilling in space, and every now and then they'll let down a saucer and kind of patrol, and someone will shoot it down. But we open up on our main character, who you already can tell from the opening of the first chapter, and there are 8 chapters in the first volume, that she doesn't live a very normal life, I guess, because she's her relationship with her parents is still kind of a mystery. And she's a person who sleeps in class, doesn't try too hard, but also isn't like a completely bad student, and is kind of debating or struggling with whether she should go to college or not. We see her like interacting with her teacher, who's disappointed in her and wants her to kind of do better. And the relationship she has with her best friend, Oran, I think is her name. Yeah. And this other group of friends that they have at school. But as the first chapter progresses, it does seem to be these 2 kids who are kind of not nihilists, I guess is not the right word, but who just don't really see the point in going to college or doing what they've been told they should do. Like I think even our main character says at one point she's just going to join the workforce, and she's like content doing
I'm going to be a corporate slave.
And then at the very
wage slave, she says.
And then they're like, you don't know about this looming alien threat until the very last page of the very first chapter, and it's a beautiful page of them talking on a roof, and you see them looking out at first, and then you see the reverse of that, and you see them looking at this giant ship, just right above them, that is even blocking out the sun. And there are so many people that we find out later on through like background news reports, that there are people who are upset about not having sunlight and not having access to all these things. And the first chapter just really sets the tone for who this character and her relationship with her best friend is, and kind of where she's at. But it does it so well, and then gives you that reveal at the very end of the first chapter, which is like awesome. Yeah,
I had no idea going into it what it was about. I didn't even read the synopsis until
me neither
until today, which was cool. And I like that reveal too.
It was insane. And as we keep going through, and again, we're going to get through this pretty quickly, but just to give everybody an idea of sort of what the first volume is all about, they do kind of talk and have a little flashback about when it first came 3 years ago, and sort of what that was like. And we find out that our main character's dad, it's kind of interesting. In the first volume, they don't talk about him dying necessarily. They just talk about him. They talk about him just kind of going out and never coming back. Assuming that he was dead, but they haven't been able to find a body or anything.
Yeah, I think he just had like. Imagine how many people would do the same thing. Just like, this is happening. People would assume, people assume if you leave for too long, you're probably dead. But in this situation, it'd be so easy to just like chalk it up to that. And he was like, I'm going to just use this opportunity to like leave my family.
Imagine he just uses
No,
that.
I totally, because the way he's talking to her, he's so detached. He's just like, war. She's like, it's so different from Ontan's relationship with her family. You could see, although her dad is like very much concerned for her and her brother's like well-being, because they just don't take life as seriously as they should. Her dad, the main character, he's just kind of aloof And he's just like, I'm gonna go. Your mom's out getting toilet paper. Like, not worried about her, not trying to like comfort his daughter. Like, she's out for toilet paper. Like, don't worry though. I just told you Japan's at war, but your mom just went to go get toilet paper. So don't even like. He didn't even try to like comfort her and be like, she's probably gonna be back soon. Don't worry. Like, everything's gonna be fine. Like, he didn't say everything's gonna be fine to her. He said we're going to war and everything's done. The world's gonna end.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just get out of here.
I have work to
back.
do.
I'll be right back.
I have work to do.
Yeah,
Ontan's family is Shamika XD. Yeah, I love Otan's family. So adorable. I agree. So
and there's
funny.
a brother character that comes into the mix who is really just a very welcomed addition to this group of characters.
Yeah.
Who comes in kind of towards the end of the first volume, but I love this guy.
Yeah.
I love this guy. So yeah, I mean, I guess now that you say that, you're absolutely right that it is just this weird relationship between the two of them, and he probably did just decide to leave.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
And we find out that her mom later on is someone who Japan had to, I guess, in this situation, reach out to everybody, every other country for help, America included, and America was able to provide them with this weapon. But now there are these things. I think it was called. They're like, I don't know exactly what it was called, but there are A waves. That are supposedly in the atmosphere now and supposedly also like not very harmful to humans. But we find out that was her relationship with her dad, and her relationship with her mom is I imagine that this happened before like this. I imagine that this happened like once the aliens came to invade, but it also seems like this was kind of like a part of who her mom was. Like,
yeah, she says that.
All this.
She says that she's always been depressed. I don't think it's something that is to be worried about, because she's always kind of been this way. But definitely just like doomsday preppers, people who really truly believe like the world's gonna end any moment, like kind of just fall into being like the way that they are, and knowing the way that she is also gives like why her dad was like, I can't do this anymore.
And her dad looked kind of like, bro, this guy looked beaten down.
He did. Yeah. And just like I have to go to work. I'm not really concerned about my family right now. Bye.
And she goes, her and her friend take her mom to the hospital, and they meet her mom's new, again, this is 3 years later since the incident. So her dad's been gone for 3 years. So they meet her mom's new boyfriend, I guess, who says that he's going to marry her mom. And you see the relationship that they have between each other, our main character and her mom, which is not a good one, because again, her mom is trying to get her to come to this like compound with
just to do what she wants her to do.
Yeah. For her quote unquote safety, right?
Yeah.
Which is what they always say.
Yeah, but in this case, what do you think? He'd be rebellious in this case, be like, fuck that. I'm not going to no compound. Let
me tell you this. I might not be going to a compound, but I'm damn sure as hell not going to be like right above where the ship is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move to. You don't even have to leave Japan. I know she's a high school girl, but damn,
she's about to be a college girl.
They should have evacuated that whole city.
Like, I'm sure they're both either 17 or 18. Like, they're almost adults. Yeah. Like, that's why the thing with the teacher too wasn't like, I mean, it was crazy, but I was like, okay. I mean, she's just like shooting her shot, I guess. Or her friends like hyping her up, like, do it. I'm like, damn.
And we see that too, that her another friend in her friend group is also trying to reach out to this guy, and there are things sprinkled throughout the first volume about this idol or this singer who was very popular and was one of the people that went missing. And we find out later towards the end of the first volume that our main character was really obsessed with this guy who went missing.
Now, do you think that was the guy that we saw at the end?
It is, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So he's a body snatcher.
Well, to give away the end of the first volume is...
Sorry.
He showed... No, I don't think it's like a huge spoiler. He does show back up, and he is speaking in an alien language.
He's speaking in cursive.
He's speaking in cursive.
Yeah.
So it is appearing to be that he has been body snatched.
It is appearing to me that he has been body snatched.
Welcome to the Twilight Zone.
I'm trying to do like a newscaster voice.
It is appearing to be that he has been body snatched. I repeat, his snatch has been bodied. What? That's the kind of news show I run.
His snatch has been bodied and body-yodied.
Yeah, that's the kind of news show. Welcome to Channel 69. I am your host for the evening, Josh Magic Michaels.
Oh.
I was going to switch it up, but then I was like, why not? You know, because it's like Magic Mike, you know, why switch it up? You know, it kind of fits. And
that was good.
And I am joined on today's news show by my co-host. Mehgan, give us your best news anchor name. Introduce yourself.
Oh.
You're not in the field. We're at behind the desk.
Oh, can you hear me?
You're not on the. I guess. Okay. Yes. And
Hi.
You're on the field. I guess.
My name is Mehgan Perini. And we're on site to see the most amazing alien body snatched. Body snatched. The snatch got bodied. Back to you.
Well, that's it for News Channel 69's coverage on the body snatching. Thank you again to Mehgan Perrine. Mehgan Pepperoni Perrine for her reporting from the field. As always, stay safe and just, you know, fuck off. It's all fucked anyway.
It's all fucked. We're all gonna fucking die.
We're all dead. It doesn't matter.
Cut.
Cut the cameras.
Cut the cameras.
But yeah, and so we kind of see that at the very end. And again, you know, this is a very slice of life, so it is hard to go through beat by beat. So we're just gonna again point out the moments that I think, you know, stood out, I guess, the most to us. And I guess the moment that stood out to me next is the moment with the teacher.
Yeah, and I like how too like this teacher character is like, you know, people that should be motivating kids and like you're putting your best foot forward to motivate young minds and try to inspire them is like the most jaded. Like he just seems so like this is just a job, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, being a teacher is a job. It definitely is a career that you can just do to make money. But a lot of teachers are like that. And it's like, bro, you should just go do something else. Like you are so, it is so instrumental to be a teacher. Like,
bro, but yeah, I mean, my mom was a teacher and seeing what teachers go through, bro, it sucks. Like teachers get the shit into the stick all the time. So every time I see like a teacher snap on somebody, and granted, sometimes it's a little too out of pocket and you could tell there's some other shit going on. But sometimes when you see a teacher snap on a kid, I'm like, I mean, what did you expect to happen? Like, what did you expect to happen to these people? Like, you know, these people are supposedly supposed to be doing the most important work, molding the minds of the youth. And, you know, you're asking way too much of them. You're asking way too much of them, and you're not giving them anything. It's like, oh yeah, I want my kid to be the next Albert Einstein. Meanwhile, you know, they're still using books with dinosaurs that don't have feathers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they can't get funding. The teachers are having to take little pens and draw feathers on all the dinosaurs in the books. You're getting books with little notes from the teachers in it. Things have changed, you know, because they can't get.
What's the title of the book?
Things that they cross out history and they say things that have changed.
Things have changed, and it's like photocopied and they're sent to all the teachers.
Yeah,
around the world. That should happen. Someone should do that.
Books.
Yeah, but then to come in, you can't teach that. Why?
For one parent to come in. Yeah, I don't want my kid thinking that dinosaurs had feathers.
Okay, take him to a private school then.
Yeah. Well, this school is just it's just the closest school to us.
I'm sorry.
It's a really good school.
I'm sorry.
Though.
Do you want your kid to be cognitive and actually be a functioning member of society and have a brain of his own, or do you want
I want him to be
sheeple?
a miniature version of me.
Homeschool.
Homeschool. There's an answer for everything is the point.
Adriano Alves says, yeah, as a teacher, I'm kind of tired of parents wanting me to do their job educating the kids.
Bro, teachers, shout out teachers, for real. My mom was a teacher. I mean, they never stop working, and yet these parents come in with,
expecting miracles.
Come in hot, like you're only teaching their kid. Like there aren't 30 other kids that you're in charge of.
Exactly.
And I can't I could do my best to try to get your kid to care. But at the end of the day, if your kid doesn't care, that's on you and your kid. And I don't pay me more, Uncle Sam, wherever you live, pay me more. Yeah.
Hello, Uncle Sam.
Another one of the act outs, Mehgan. This is Saturday Night Live over here. As soon as I hear Mehgan knocking on the table. Already done 3 in the last 5 minutes. And the first one, questionable ending. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And just to finish off real quick too, with the interaction between her and her mom, she ends up wanting her to go to this compound, and she's like, no, I am going to go to college, and I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go with you. And her mom just really, that was also just very believable sort of interaction between the two of them, where she's just like, you know what? Let me out of the car. I'll walk home. You don't care about me. Like, don't ask me. I won't ask you for anything ever again. Just like, sometimes I feel like,
bro, I've been told that line before.
No, yeah, parents really,
they love that.
I'm not a parent, but
they love that shit.
It's one of their go-to lines.
They want it on T-shirts. They want it on mugs.
They want it on merch.
I mean, I'm never gonna ask you for anything ever again.
For real. I mean, yeah. I mean, I've heard that so many times. Like, sorry, I asked you for one thing. I'll never ask you for anything again.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, they love using it, and then you're like, damn, like, you asked me for a lot, and it's like, bro, that was your responsibility. Like, I didn't ask you. Like, you had to do these things because I couldn't walk.
Yeah, at a certain point, yeah, it was. But some kids, maybe some kids are asking for a little too much. You know what I mean? Asking like, you don't need Pokemon cards to survive. All right.
That's debatable.
That is debatable, Mehgan. Thank you. It is.
Yeah. It's not a want. It's a need. Yeah. Like sometimes parents just don't understand that.
Because if I don't get Pokemon cards, then I'm gonna be bullied at school, and that's gonna affect me. It's gonna have long-term effects on me.
Yeah. If I don't get Pokemon cards, then I'm not gonna be able to play by myself. I was just making a sad joke about not having anyone to play cards with.
Oh, you were making fun of me.
Yeah.
You were making fun of me, and you wanted it to be sad so that I would relate to it more.
Thank you. Relate to it?
A little bit, yeah. Thank you. So the next memorable moment then is her, and this is kind of a shift. I didn't really get this that she had these feelings towards her teacher until this moment. But did you pick up on that?
Well, I mean, I thought the friend was kind of just like joking around because they do have that interaction where she's like, oh, you show him your boobs, or you're supposed to like lick his nipples or something. I don't know. She'd say some crazy shit.
Oh, yeah. She did say that.
And I was like, oh, okay, maybe there is something, I guess, there. But then, she asked for a book, and she's like, I want to, go to your place. And he's like, okay, I guess. And they go in, and she's just like snooping around and like, oh, I didn't know you used this thing for your face. And he's like, it's not mine. And she's like, oh, I see. Like you have a significant other. That makes...
Yeah.
I get it. Okay. And then she just kind of realizes, like, in that moment, like, I don't... Like, do I actually want this? Like...
Yeah.
Am I going to put his, like, job at jeopardy just because of my feelings, Well,
I think it is. In that moment, she is realizing, like, again, as a young adult, maybe what really is important to her. I mean, with her friends, and especially her other friend, vying for the attention of this other high school boy, and that being very important to... a part of her friend group. Maybe she thinks that is what she should be doing, but she realizes in this moment and starts to realize that it's her friend that she really cares about and that she really wants to be there with, because there was a UFO crash kind of local to them, so she's there on the scene, and she immediately realizes, like, I don't know if it was her trying to grow up too fast or her just trying to do what she thought she was supposed to do, but she realizes, because her friend doesn't seem to really give a shit about any of that stuff. Like, her friend is very unapologetically herself. Her friend is out there. Her friend is loud. Her friend is like drooling all over the place, and just like she's a hot mess, but in the best way, in the most charming way. a perfect counter to herself, being this more introverted, quiet kind of person. Her friend being this loud, aggressive, I guess, person. And so she kind of runs to her, and they find this piece of this ship that they kind of take back and call like the T piece or something like that. I forget. But other than that, in the first volume, then they meet the last, I think, really big standout moment to me was when they meet. I forget her name again. The friend's name.
Oh, Otan.
Otan. They meet her.
Anton.
Otan. I don't know why I wrote Oran down.
I wrote Oran too. Maybe that's here. Let me look because I saw Anton.
Either way,
when she was talking to the teacher about her,
and they're both, by the way, too. They're both. Oh yeah, I guess yeah. They're both very avid. I think Ontan, I guess, more of a video game, more of a gamer than her friend, but they're both like pretty big gamers.
Yeah.
They're both, they're both playing like war games online, and spending a lot of their time and a lot of their nights doing that. So her computer broke, and she's needing to get it fixed. So she gets it fixed by her older brother, and this is the first time we meet this older brother character, who is just such a awesome, like I said, addition to these group of three. He's let himself go. That's also very relatable. He's a little heavy, okay, but he's still a nice guy, dude. And he's kind of an internet troll. It seems like. Yeah,
he's saying that what he does, like what he loves doing is being like an advocate for people online or trying to find people injustices online or something like that. Well, and his dad's like, you shouldn't bully, you shouldn't like treat people like that. And he's like telling people off.
What he kind of does is he finds people who he thinks are like, advocating, or the way I understood it is like advocating for things or trying to be not virtue signal necessarily, but trying to be, very about something online. He kind of makes himself, he's a troll. He kind of riles them up and makes them, the way he says it too, he's like, I make them like delete their accounts, and I make them realize that
I'm busy patrolling the internet. I search for scumbags on social media who try to flout their knowledge and pester them, posting haunted photos and memes until they delete their accounts. And then his dad's like, you shouldn't bother people like that. And he's like, no, I'm showing my love for them.
He's a troll. And, he's one of the most lovable trolls I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, he's got like the necklace on. He's got that like sick ass metal like t-shirt.
Yeah, bro. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's lit. He's lit.
They just kind of reminisce a little bit, and he talks about like them having a childhood. He's like, remember when we were kids and we said that we would marry each other? And she's like, yeah, but you're kind of fat. Now she really actually does say that. She's like, maybe if you lose a little bit of weight.
Yeah, she goes, you look like you gotten rounder. It's like, damn. Yeah. I mean, it is just like, she's probably known him for years and years, like a cousin, not even like a friend anymore. So she's just so comfortable saying this shit to him. Yeah. And he's like, oh shit.
And they kind of go on a little jog together, and kind of where it ends, where the first volume ends. And I know we're jumping all over the place and kind of going through it pretty quickly, but again, because of the nature of the story, it is something that you really just do have to read and experience for yourself to really get all of the interactions between all of these characters and the dialogue and the world and everything. It is more of a feeling, I guess, than you get reading this than actual actual plot moments. But this is just to give you a general idea of what to expect, and if anything sounds interesting to you, then maybe it'll encourage you to check it out for yourself. Yeah,
the ending was really, really cool. I mean, we do get to see, like I said, the other friends in her friend group that are like also so cute. So like they remind me of like the group in Princess Jellyfish, where they're kind of like otaku girls. So they all kind of like specific things like BL. One of them likes BL, boys love, and Otan's like making fun of her and like saying it in front of the guys that she was just looking at and like getting all crazy. But I like all of them, and one of them, like you said, has a boyfriend. And this boyfriend's like, he's going through it. He's like, I'm so depressed, and he's just like, he's kind of like losing it because of this whole alien thing again, because he saw something wild.
Right.
He saw an alien spaceship crashed, and they covered it up.
Right.
Where like 2 I think left, or 2 were spotted and 1 escaped into the residential area, and they're trying to cover it up and say that they both died, but he saw 1 go. But anyway, he's just like, I like the scene a lot because I can like definitely relate to this, where like a person who thinks that they know everything or trying to be, you can't talk about something unless you know everything about it.
Right.
And I was just like, I was having like war flashbacks, dude, reading this. I was like, just like, I hate. Like, he's basically telling her you're stupid.
Right.
You know, he's like, you're stupid. Don't talk about stuff if you don't know anything about it. And she's like, what do? Regurgitate things you read online? Like, right. I'm speaking about this thing because I want to speak about it, and I'm saying what I feel, not what you just regurgitated what you read. And who's everyone? Everyone's saying this. Who's everyone? Well, everyone's everyone. Like, it was just like so. It was so triggering, and they eventually break up. And I was like, good. The text message too, like, bro, I had to be dead. I had to be floored. And I just loved this moment for this character. I was like, good girl, fuck that fool.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Megan. I think
you don't remember.
I think you might have read a little past volume 1. Because as you were talking about it, I was like, oh yeah, I do know this character who has this boyfriend. And then as you kept going, I was like,
Did I?
I don't recall that. But now you get a little bit more into volume 2.
Yeah, I did. I did.
You did. You couldn't help yourself.
I did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I did.
Well, now you know where it starts to go, and now you know that now you know some of the tea.
Bro, I pulled an old volume 1.
You pull old school. That's an old school.
That's an old school Mehgan move.
That's
you know, spoiling is what I used to do. Spoiling, I used to do a lot. In the past,
actually.
And I got a lot better at it. But that was a wow. Those who
haven't
know,
done that in a long time.
Wow,
felt good, huh? Get back to your roots.
It felt a little good. Yeah. No, it didn't.
No,
it didn't. It didn't feel good. But yeah. Yeah, I don't remember that. Megan reads ahead again. I know. Fuck. I read I remember reading a little bit ahead, but I was like, oh, I think that's.
It's kind of curious because the physical copy was right here. Curiouser and curiouser.
I should have looked, but anyway, sorry.
Anyway, we're the first.
That's why you weren't saying anything.
Yeah, I was like,
I was like, why aren't you discussing this with me? Oh, that's really
because I didn't read it, Megan.
Really funny throwback. Yeah, sorry. Revenge for Josh revealing Robin's name.
Oh yeah, that's taking it way back.
Oh wow. Okay.
But where it really basically ends is this new the first volume where it actually ends. Is with this new technology that they have created that is able to like disintegrate these,
like the green ray or something.
Yeah, something like that. These ships from space without debris falling down, and it's this new advancement in, I think, specifically Japanese technology, and they're talking about Japan now kind of being back at the forefront of technology with this new invention,
because they were kind of just like, you know, obviously like they have crazy appliances and like things like that, but they were like, we're gonna be on that war shit again. I don't know. Weapon
when a giant ship is above you in space, or in the sky, makes sense. But they test it out. It's a success. It works, and it kind of ends on her friend bullying her about this idol guy that she used to really like. And then he's kind of wandering through the crowds of people and talking. At first, it looks like he says hello. It looks like in a bunch of different languages, like he's trying to find what language everybody there speaks. And then one of their friends notices him, and he says something in a language that we cannot read. And that's kind of where it ends, because this person was thought to be dead or missing or gone.
For a while.
For a while.
It was like Thanos snap.
For years,
like a lot of people. So I'm like curious to see like who's gonna come back, like who's gonna be in the mix, like is it just him, like, and you think about it too, like aliens, like it's kind of like Parasite, where they're like taking on people of power to kind of enact or like to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, is it, come back to be the face of aliens?
Again, we don't even know the intention of these aliens. Now, I do believe that if they're not attacking, which is another crazy thing, yes, on one hand, it is believable that the world would react to something this crazy, and I know that it's more symbolic than anything. But if aliens were to come down in this way, dude, I mean, I do think that unless they attack first, I mean, even if they're sending out little probes, I mean, maybe it would be some America shit to just like attack them first, ask questions later.
Bro, that's what I was just about to say. I was like, this is Japan, not fucking America. Like America,
they're still shooting them down without knowing anything about them.
And wait,
because that's because they asked America for help, and America was like, shoot them. I'll come in here and I'll take care of it. Yeah, I don't know.
I'll come in here and I'll take
care of it. Yeah, and they're like, okay. Mr. Strong Man.
Mr. Strong Man.
Mr. Strong Guy over here.
Oh, I thought his surname was like Strong Man.
Oh, that's a good name. It's a strong name. But I do think that unless they attacked, I mean, I can see people wanting to know more about these aliens, and I do know that their intentions do become more clear over the course of this series, like I said, which is currently, as of this recording, completed. Where that leads, where that goes, like I don't know, and I won't reveal, but I do know that there's more of what is happening with the actual aliens themselves is explained. Mehgan probably knows a lot about that too because she read past the first volume, so yeah. She probably knows a lot about that.
I'm sorry, I was enthralled, okay? And if you read that scene, I think I needed to read that scene. I think something in my destiny, something the universe told me, like, keep reading because you need to see this moment.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a really cool way to justify doing
me being prepared. Me loving what I do. Me being passionate.
And now you're gaslighting me.
Oh, gaslight. Okay. King.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Channel 69 News. But yeah, I again, it is kind of hard to go beat by beat and talk about the story because it is about more than just what's happening between the characters and these moments. It's about the moments and it's about everything that's happening in the background. But
it's about how something like so extraordinary and so out of this world, something so grand, it just becomes like, a part of everyday life, mundane. It loses the sparkle, I guess, or it loses like the fear that you should feel seeing it. Maybe that's, I don't know what that has to speak on. Maybe like, I don't know, seeing what's ahead.
Well, I do think it is interesting. And we did get a donation real quick that I do want to shout out from a beautiful eye who says, hell yeah, brother. American flag. These aliens got to go.
Got to go.
Yeah, dude. I mean, can you imagine like a real alien invasion in America?
We'd get nuked.
It'd be too crazy, bro. People are already acting up. People are already acting.
Maybe it's what we need.
Acting out.
Maybe it's what we need.
Maybe to unite.
Maybe we need to. Yeah. Maybe we need to be humbled. We need to be humbled. We're getting too crazy. We're getting too crazy.
Too comfortable. Yeah.
Again, a little too comfortable on this planet Earth. Okay, we need a little wake up call.
Yeah. Something unifying.
Something unifying.
A common extraterrestrial. And why do we even got to say common extraterrestrial enemy? Maybe a common extraterrestrial friend who's going to educate us about the thing. They're going to come down and say, you guys are still doing this war shit. That's cute. That's cute. There
would be other people that would be like, this isn't real.
Yeah, this is the government.
Yeah, this is the government. This isn't real. The media is trying to control the narrative,
Yeah. This is just Hollywood and the government teaming together.
Yeah, dude, Alex Jones.
Yeah. It's been a while. He's like, this is Hollywood and the Jim Henson Company. I can't do that.
Yeah. That was good. No, that was good. That was good.
Who have teamed together. If you look really close, you can see if you look really close, you can see a hand puppeteering the alien.
Yeah.
We've zoomed in to be able to see this.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that these are real? I think if aliens were real, they'd be a lot different than what we got walking around our streets. Not my aliens.
Not that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like adds in really aggressive like curse words here and then. It's like, dude,
Yeah, we need our America, according to VanTuber, and I agree, we need our snatches bodied.
Yeah. We need our snatches bodied.
Yeah.
Girl, your snatches bodied.
Yeah. I mean, it has a lot of different.
I like it. Yeah.
It has a lot of different meanings. I mean, the meaning that comes to my mind is an aggressive one, but like in terms of like that phrasing.
Snatch.
Like your snatch is bodied. Like, you know what I mean?
It got bodied.
Like it got wrecked.
Yeah. Bodied.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever play Bodies?
No.
Yeah, it seemed kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You played that choke game?
I did it to myself, yeah.
I bet you did.
I did it to myself and passed out in a Barnes & Noble, yeah. I did. Woke up, magazines laying everywhere. Yeah. I was bored. I don't know. I was bored. It was a Saturday morning, I guess. This is when I was working at Barnes & Noble, yeah. Yeah. Before we opened the doors to the public.
Found you?
No, but I did think how strange it would be.
How strange.
Did I get fired? Yeah, no, nobody saw me. Nobody saw me. Maybe they saw me on the security cameras just pass out.
Because I can understand. You'd be like, oh my God, Josh, you passed out. But what if they replayed it on the tape and they just saw you choking yourself until you passed out? Like, how crazy.
That would be crazy.
That reveal would have been.
That would be crazy. But I don't think they had security cameras. And I think that's why I did it. Because I was like, they don't have cameras. And,
you are an insane person.
And I was like, the manager's in the back right now.
You are an insane person.
I didn't know. I didn't know what would happen. Truly.
What do you think would it?
And I wanted to know what it felt like to pass out. I had never passed out up until that point, and it is crazy. It really is. It's wild.
It is wild.
Because
did you see black?
I didn't see black, but I blacked out.
Like, I remember when I passed out, I saw my eyes were open, but I couldn't see. My eyes were open, but it was darkness. It was the craziest feeling ever. I was like blinking, and I was like, I can't see. Oh my! And then I was like,
wow. That's deep, dude. Your eyes were open, but you couldn't see.
Yeah.
It's very poetic.
Yeah. My dad's like, just get her juice.
Yeah. No, I literally woke up covered in magazines because I was stocking magazines at the time.
And then you were like,
yeah. And then yeah, pretty much, yeah. Well, it's not that aggressive,
And then you woke up, you're like, ugh.
And I was like, did it work?
And then you're like, okay, I'll just stock magazines again. Like, you're
yeah, pretty much.
Wild. You're wild.
We got another donation from D. LaJoy Boy. Hey, Josh repping auto. What is that?
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
It's fixation.
I can't read.
Muscle.
Yeah, dude. Now imagine doing that. Like, I imagine doing what I did, but also like, what if I would have been jerking off at the same time? Like, how crazy would have that felt? You know what I mean? I've never done the two combined. I've done the two separate. Never combined. I've done the two separate. Anyway.
All right. Yeah, I think we gave our closing thoughts.
Well, yeah. Just to reiterate, I again, it is kind of hard to talk about this series. But it's a really different series than Goodnight Punpun, but there are a lot of similarities there. If you're a fan of Asano's storytelling and the vibe that he's able to convey in a series, and I think you're going to like it. It's different. It's not as dark, but it's beautifully drawn and well written. The characters are believable. Their relationship is fantastic, as well as like this looming threat that's constantly in the background. It's very intriguing. It's saying something. And I really enjoyed everything about the first volume. And I think that if you're a fan of Asano and haven't checked this out yet, especially since it's going to be getting an anime adaptation and the first thing he's ever done to get an anime adaptation, check it out. Because I thought it was definitely something that I wish I would have had more time to sit and soak up and absorb. But I'll be doing plenty of that going forward. And that's, I guess, my closing thoughts. I do recommend it, and I did really, really enjoy it for so many reasons. For all of those reasons that I stated. Anything else you want to say about it, Mehgan?
I think this is a good type of story to read, if especially if you're not the biggest fan of slice of life, due to it being like, I guess, too cutesy, or there's like a preconceived notion about slice of life, it being kind of all similar. So if you're into, I don't even want to use the word edgy, but this is more of a like darker slice of life. Like, it's not a happy slice of life. This is a darker take on slice of life, which I find really interesting, and I don't think I've ever read something like this before. I have read I've watched Girls Last Tour, which I think is a manga too, if I'm mistaken, which is kind of similar. It's like those two girls who are kind of in like that apocalyptic, they have like that like military garb on. I think you've seen it around.
Maybe, yeah.
They look super cutesy too. And one's blonde and one has black hair with pigtails. Anyway, they're kind of similar in that sense, where it's kind of like a darker slice of life, but this is cool. And I mean, I already did, but I would continue to read this. And obviously, I mean, the physical volumes are really, really pretty. So this would be something cool to collect too. And let us know if Solanin, I think it's pronounced that way, Solanin is any good, because I wouldn't mind reading that from Asano too.
I think the next Asano thing that I really want to read, I mean, I would definitely continue this. I also definitely want to check out Downfall. But you were speaking of the physical copies too. Like, these things are beautiful. They have the little flaps on them too. I mean, you got to appreciate a good physical copy, dude. Come on. And I haven't read a physical copy. I've been a digital boy for months. And it's so nice to go back to reading a physical copy. It was a really cool experience. Yeah,
considered after getting this, the snatch was bodied.
My snatch was bodied. Okay. Closing thoughts on Dead Demons DDD Destruction.
Snatch body.
My snatch was bodied. And speaking of physical copies, and let us know too, people have kind of been talking a little bit about it throughout this stream, but if you've read it, let us know your thoughts on the first volume, anything that you have to say about it. But speaking of physical copies, I mean, maybe we'll just bust this out right now, because, we're kind of at the end, and we're gearing up to our Wonders Circle, where, you guys can pretty much ask us anything, comment anything, and we'll react to it, respond to it live here and now. But while we're waiting for those to trickle in, and speaking of physical copies, we also got another physical copy of something recently. That I would love to show off, dude. We got it the same day we got volume 1 of this. We also got the Barnes & Noble exclusive Tokyo Revengers. I guess it's kind of not an omnibus, but it's collector's edition.
Yeah, 1 to 2 volume. I mean, anything over a volume, I think, is an omnibus if it's added to something. Yeah,
it's more like an omni short bus.
Yeah,
because it's like I think of an omnibus being like the whole bus,
like Omni-Man.
Like, well, I guess, but this is more like maybe like this is like a Omni party bus, maybe, because it's just like
yeah, it's got a pole in it.
Right.
Yeah. That's fun. I was so ecstatic to hear that they were doing this, because I have read a good amount of it. I haven't finished it yet, but knowing that it's going to be released in English, finally, it's felt like forever.
Bro, too long. Too long.
I'm so excited to keep like collecting these and to keep reading them. Like, I want you to get to where I'm at in the manga, because the anime just like, I wouldn't base it. Like, the manga's so much better, and Takemichi's such a better character, I feel like, in the manga. Like, I really enjoyed it.
Takemichi on the cover of this looks like way like harder, bro. Yeah. He looks like way more of a gangster.
Yeah, I love it. I'm so excited. And it's just so beautiful, and I really, really need to finish this. But collecting it will be a good excuse to finish it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to go through, I think the thing today is I think that for whatever reason, the stream is more delayed than it usually is, which I don't like when it's super delayed, because for obvious reasons, I guess I don't need to explain that, but
I don't like when it's delayed.
But yeah, just to reiterate again, if you guys have any questions or anything you want to ask in the Wonder Circle, or anything you just want to say, feel free to fire off any and all things. This is from Vermilion. I be seeing 0 anime-related stuff come from France, and yet they have so much manga.
Yeah.
Bro, that's what I'm saying, dude. I mean, that's what I've said it previously. I better go to France, and it better be like Akihabara out there, because I would think for how popular anime manga is in the States, now I go to the mall, they got Jujutsu Kaisen in the Zoomies windows, like.
Yeah, they have it in Walmart.
They have it in Walmart. They have it at Five Below, Target. Like, it's everywhere. Like, I would think it's popular enough to get English releases of stuff. Like, maybe I guess it doesn't make sense to them, money wise. They're the ones who have all the numbers and analytics and whatnot. But damn, dude.
I know.
Damn.
Hey guys, I freaking love you. Dawn, hi.
What up, Dawn Simpson?
Hello.
What up, Dawn? So definitely stay tuned we're not done yet, but we are going to start wrapping it up. Stay tuned for our Wednesday live stream.
Yeah.
That's when we're going to be covering more, anime news, anime and manga news stuff.
Wednesday will be fun. There's a figure unboxing.
Some more figure unboxings.
Yeah.
A One Piece one and a figure that's not a One Piece one.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Literal shocker.
Again, we took a recent trip to the mall, and I saw a figure that I've never seen. I know, we'll keep it a mystery until the live this Wednesday. I've never seen a figure of this character for this price and look this good. And I have looked. So the fact that I stumbled upon one at an FYE for your entertainment was amazing, and so I had to cop it. So we're going to be unboxing and opening that.
Vermilion, one or circle. Josh, my name is Wing, not Wig.
I think I say wing or wig. I think I say both. Vermilion.
Wing.
I think I say both. Cut me some slack. I'm sorry.
You say both? Just say the right one. I say both.
I say both.
Adriano says, hugs from Brazil. It's the first live I've been able to follow since I found your channel. Awesome. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of comments saying like, oh, dang, like I get to tune in. These happen every other week. So every other Monday we will be going live, and every Wednesday we go live too. So just check out for those because we're going live weekly usually.
It was One Piece Day. There was a new trailer. Also, there's some stuff that came out of like Comic-Con, which we might talk about depending on how many people want us to comment on any of those things. There's been a lot of anime and manga news that's come out this past week.
Yeah, and Josh has been.
It's kind of funny, dude.
Josh has been.
Go ahead.
He knows how much I'm out on Marvel in general, and he thinks it's really, really funny to show me or like be excited for trailers that have come out during Comic-Con. Like, oh, this just came out.
Right.
She-Hulk and other things, and he likes watching me like cringe at the trailers, and he loves it.
I do.
He loves it.
I do.
And I just don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah, I do want to comment on that, but I do want to I do want to further that. But I just want to acknowledge these two comments real quick. The first one from Gabe Ruiz saying, Josh, your Mexican side of the family had to have shown you Blood In and Blood Out at least, because they are also talking about I guess it's them as well. Their previous comment, since you don't like gangster movies, what do you think of Tokyo Revengers? Now, Blood In, Blood Out, you bet your ass I've seen that movie.
What is that?
Blood In, Blood Out check it out. It's a movie about me, okay? It's a movie about a half white, half Mexican guy who has to move into or with the part of town with the Mexican side of his family, basically. And he's kind of like, his name is Miklo. And he's kind of struggling, with being half white and half Mexican. He looks, I think, more white than he does Mexican. But it's a fantastic, it's like a 3-hour movie. It's like a 3-hour movie, dude, and it could have been longer, dude. It was a beautiful movie about family, familia, about, being half white, half Mexican. It was a kind of a little bit about, there was some gangster elements in it as well.
Activity.
There's some cholo activity for sure.
Cholo activity, yeah.
But it's a really awesome movie. And I guess when I say I don't like gangster movies, I just am so saying, like, I feel like, because I watched, I don't know, Scorsese came out with a movie not too long ago that was like that was about like a gangster who was like old, and he was like looking back on his life as a gangster, and that movie was cool. That movie was a cool movie, but I guess I just more so mean like Scarface and like.
You keep putting Scarface in that category. Like, do not put it in that category. It's not at all that.
I know, and that's my bad. But I guess I also more so mean than The Godfather and stuff like that.
Oh, I just want to. sorry for overhyping you about the package. Amazon tracking has got me. Yes, I got the packages. I got the packages.
Let's go.
Thank you, DJ or D. I always say DJ. D. LeBoyJoy. Thank you so much. We're so excited to get into Wano month, and we have some really cool cosplays planned. And thank you to everyone else in the chat if you did support us in the wish list, Amazon wish list. Like it's helped us out so much. You guys have no idea, and we just want the Wano month to be the best it can be, and it's gonna help. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And so just to answer that too, how do I feel about Tokyo Revengers? I love Tokyo Revengers, especially because time travel.
Yeah.
Come on.
Josh mispronounced something after gaslighting Mehgan. I got bingo. Monkey.
I got bingo.
Yeah, we have a volume 1 bingo card for episodes.
We should do it if I was it Vermilion who was the one that was putting it together?
I think so.
If it's ready, we should do it on Wednesday.
Yeah.
That would be so fun. And we got a donation from a beautiful lot.
Oh, thank you so much.
You want to read this one, Mehgan?
Yeah. Blade is still my only hope for Marvel. I agree. I just don't hope they make it too funny.
Yeah, I mean,
because that's what they do now, which is like, I liked it at first, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like everything has to be like She-Hulk, you know? It's like, do they have like, they could, you know, they didn't like, I don't take this character seriously at all after what I've seen from the trailers. I mean, it's a joke.
It's not supposed to be this super serious show though, and that's what it was.
But that's everything.
Like, but yeah,
that's
at least
everything they put out now. Nothing is serious.
Fair. That's a fair point. Number one, like in terms of like Blade, I think the casting for Blade is the best you can. It's the best you could ever cast outside of Wesley Snipes, who was the first movie cinematic Blade.
Wesley Snipes.
This is like the best. I forget his name too. Shit, I'm gonna have to look it up. It was on the tip of my tongue. It starts with an M, I believe.
Morbius?
No, the actor, Mehgan. Show some respect. So do I have any hope for it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see. When it comes to like Daredevil, especially too, a lot of people seem so excited about Daredevil. But the Netflix Daredevil show, and I watched the first like 2 seasons, I think.
Mahershala Ali.
This guy is goated, dude. Like Mahershala Ali was one of the greatest actors acting. Like there was this period of movies, this chunk of movies that he was in, and like role after role. It felt like he came out of nowhere, and role after role after role, he absolutely just fucking bodied every role he was in, and he just has
bodied a snatch.
He bodied a snatch, and he had such a presence, and he had just such a way about him that was just so like he is an amazing actor. So him being Blade is the only thing that gives me hope. But Daredevil, I watched the first 2 seasons of the Netflix show. The Netflix show was fantastic, but it was gritty. It was dark. It was not very funny. I mean, some of the stuff that we got to see with the Punisher was in season 2 was crazy, gory. Just really what you would expect the spirit of a Daredevil show to be. I don't think it's going to be that. Like, I can't imagine a world in which Disney makes a show anything like, even if it's the same actor. I can't imagine a world where Disney makes anything as gory and as just gritty as that original. It might be darker for Disney. It might be slightly more gory for Disney, but it's gonna be nothing. It's gonna be nothing, and that's why like people are so hyped about it, because they love this actor and they love this version of the character. But I just feel like it's not gonna be that. It might be the closest, but it's just not gonna be that.
Yeah.
My Wallet.
My Wallet.
With another donation. Shout out My Wallet. I'd argue that Moon Knight is the best thing the MCU has done. Also, did you know Punpun is a parody?
A parody?
I didn't know that.
Is a parody or has a parody?
Is a parody or has a parody?
Yeah. And what type of parody?
Yeah, what type of parody? Yeah, I want to know more about that. Someone said, "Oh, we're talking about Marvel now, dude." Okay, so now to go back to what Mehgan was saying, and I watched all of Moon Knight too. Is it okay, Mehgan, if I go on a little Moon Knight rant? Okay, little Moon Knight rant. I thought Moon Knight was great, dude. But the thing about, like, you know, a lot of people complaining that there wasn't enough Moon Knight in Moon Knight, whatever. I thought, for the most part, what we were seeing visually and starting to get more into these Egyptian gods and deities and all of this stuff, visually and from, I guess, a Marvel standpoint, cinematically, like in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it felt fresh. Like I liked the world that they were creating. I loved Oscar Isaac. He was a phenomenal actor and had a scene towards the end of the first season that blew me away. Like, I mean, when he bounced back and forth from these two psyches, it was absolutely insane. As an actor, he elevated the source material. I truly believe that. My thing with Moon Knight, though, is I don't really think they fumbled the ending necessarily, but they put all this weight onto the post-credit scene. Spoiler alert for Moon Knight. Post-credit scene being, but this is why I don't think it's like that big of a spoiler, is because the thing was, at the end, you find out the big twist is that Khonshu is working with one of his other personalities, a personality by the name of Jake Lockley. Most people who are familiar with Moon Knight either know about this character, or if they don't, and they're into the show Moon Knight, they're watching YouTube videos about Moon Knight in preparation or as they're watching, you know, the show. I mean, most people I talk to these shows about will either like start to get into a series and then want to know more about it, so they'll dive into these other YouTubers talking more in depth about these characters and the runs that these shows are doing their own interpretation of. So it made it this like big post-credit reveal, but I just feel like it was kind of anticlimactic because so many people, whether you were a fan of it before or not, had known of this third personality. I guess it was supposed to be this like big WTF moment that they were going to be doing that at all, but it also just was like, I was like, okay, like I assumed that based on the run, based on the character, based on everything that's already out there. So sometimes it feels like Marvel's just kind of banking on this like a large portion of their audience, like not knowing certain things.
No, that's definitely what Marvel just has become in general. Like we do get like little nods, or they do little nods to fans like who have been following, you know, runs or have been following these characters for a long time. They do give them that, but they are, you know, now more than ever capitalizing on the MCU movie franchise and TV show only people who have become fans of the Marvel because of the movies, because of the shows. Same thing happened with Star Wars. I mean, the newest one with Kylo, I forget what it's called.
Oh, the new trilogy, the new Star Wars trilogy.
Complete new Star Wars. You know, they're revamping for the audience that didn't necessarily watch any of the old Star Wars to kind of have that feeling and be excited about Star Wars again. If that makes sense.
No, I just got confused, but yeah.
Capitalizing on people that don't know. And that's what they're doing more and more with Marvel, which is like, I mean, it's not surprising, to be honest, because they want as many people as they can get to be on this bandwagon. For how much longer, I don't know. But I mean, you can only assume for a while, because the fans that are like, oh, I'm kind of tired of seeing this, will like always go back because it's being made.
Yeah,
and the new people that are just like, oh, this is so cool, I really like this, because they have no idea what it could have become or what it was.
Paravision says two really interesting things. Yes, they also showed a sarcophagus, and they also showed a third sarcophagus, that too. But it just felt like hand-holding is what Quattro said, and it does kind of feel like that at times, where, you know, they film something and show something and expect like the audience, the way it's filmed, they assume or expect the audience to go like, oh my God, but it's like it was all there.
Yeah, but if you don't know that.
No, and that's why I wanted to talk about their second comment too. To be fair, most people I talk to that love the MCU have no idea who Moon Knight was.
Exactly.
And that is the new era of like Marvel that we live in.
Well, that's like Iron Man. I mean, Iron Man wasn't like the biggest character in the MCU, and yet he was the face of it.
Right.
You know?
I mean, Marvel was Iron Man was, on the Avengers at some point, but in the comics, there's so many different versions of the Avengers.
Exactly.
But yeah, now there is this just like big, large group of people that have never read a comic book and consider them. I don't think it's like wrong for them to consider themselves a Marvel fan. I'm not gatekeeping or saying that they can't call themselves a Marvel fan, but I think that they are more specifically a Marvel cinematic movie fan. I do feel like I don't know. I do feel like there's a lot of hand holding. I don't know. I do want to talk maybe a little bit more about it on Wednesday. Some of the other Comic-Con stuff that came out and some of the other shows and everything like that. And we'll kind of go more into that on Wednesday. I don't want to derail it here because I do have thoughts and I do have opinions. And it was funny because I was showing Mehgan like the new Shazam trailer, and I was showing Mehgan the new Black Adam trailer, and I was showing her the Sandman trailer, which of all the things, I think the Sandman, just also seeing how involved Neil Gaiman is with all of it, is really promising. I mean, he did a, almost like shot by shot reaction explaining every choice that they made for the show that might be different or might have sort of deterred a little bit from the source material. He explained why that choice was made, and just his involvement and his passion and love for this series. I'm excited for Sandman. I mean, I think it's going to be one of the better shows to come out of Netflix in a while. I do have a lot of hope for that. And there's some other things that I was showing Mehgan, and Mehgan was probably the most upset about the trailer for the last season of The Walking Dead because that was something that you really cared about at a certain point, and now you're just so out. But showing her everything, even the She-Hulk stuff, everything, she was just like literally getting like angry. She was turning into the She-Hulk.
I was. Yeah, I was.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. Anyway, I definitely want to talk more about that, but we could respond to a couple more of the comments too in the chat for the last couple of minutes here. We also did see Nope, which no spoilers for Nope at all. But,
yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit on Wednesday, but we'll probably talk about that more in a Patreon exclusive only episode.
We'll definitely do maybe a spoiler talk in the Patreon.
Yeah,
episode.
In the Patreon if you've watched it.
Night Stripper 69 is just trying to mess with you, and they're saying Buzz Lightyear live action. Are you excited? Would you be excited for that? I'm kidding.
You said it so like, would you be excited?
I got quiet.
You got scared.
I got a little scared. I did. Vermilion, did you guys hear about the independent comic publisher getting like over $1 million in donations in the first week for the backing of a completely new comic universe? I have seen people post a lot about that in our Discord, and I've been really curious as to what exactly that is. Again, manga is where my heart is, and manga and anime is where my heart is, especially with all the great series and the great anime that are just out now. My heart is not as into comics and hasn't been as into Western comics for a long time, but I have been seeing people post about this, and I looked very, very little into it, but I did start looking into it because everybody seemed really excited about it. And it got over $1 million of support, because that's the problem. Like, these characters, I mean, they're just working with the same universe, the same characters, and they can have these alternate timelines and versions and variants and things, but it is what it is. It's this cast of characters that we've seen for so many years. I do want to look more into that and check that out, because it looks promising and people seem really excited about it.
Mustache Josh coming soon.
Well, after Wano month. Let's see. Marvel got so big that we are in its counterculture phase where people have caught on to the formula and want more. I also think this is why shows like The Boys, Peacemaker, and The Watchmen hit so hard.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, that comment is almost, perfectly stated. Like, that's exactly what it is. And if you want to talk about a show like Watchmen came out, I think, before The Boys and before Peacemaker for sure.
Yeah, a while ago.
Watchmen, to me, Watchmen was one of the best shows I had seen in a long time at that point. It was so good. And I I really have pushed, not maybe like super hard, but I really would love for you to watch that series because it is, sure, it uses superheroes to kind of, I guess, rope you in, but it's really not about that at all. And it is one of the most incredibly well-written, well-acted, well-shot series that I had seen in a long time. Watchmen is a truly amazing, amazing show. And I remember feeling that way as I was watching it. I was like, I hope we get more of this. And, outside of maybe The Boys and outside of Peacemaker, which Peacemaker is a little different. I wouldn't compare it to Watchmen, but in the sense that it is like kind of not a lot of what these other shows are. It's a little like darker. It's a little like not grittier, but I mean the humor is like, it's pretty crass. It's pretty like edgy. It's pretty but at least it was different. And that's why I enjoyed it a lot too. When is Whole Cake Part 2 dropping for members, says Miko XD. It is dropping for members tomorrow. Woo! I actually have to and did we both see the Kid Luffy actor announced for the live action? Yes. We're going to be talking about all that on Wednesday. But it's coming out tomorrow. I actually have to finish editing that episode tonight for it to come out tomorrow. But Whole Cake Island Part 2. And I have already read the small amount of chapters that we're going to be covering.
You already read all of them?
For the Reverie, yeah. Yeah. I couldn't.
You told me that you just read a couple.
And then I read more. I was telling you the truth at that moment in time, but then I read more. Because I was so like
just kidding.
You read more than you were supposed to read.
It's different. It's One Piece.
I couldn't not. Like I was so excited to keep reading. Like I know
I have to read it. I'm excited for that. I mean,
you'll read it in like an hour, but it is like
it's a lot.
I don't want to say
this has like never happened where you have read before because we usually read at the same time.
Yeah.
So we can like give some details away and be like, oh, that part was cool. That part was cool. Not talk about it too much because we usually talk about it at length on the episode, or at all.
Right. Yeah, we usually don't talk about any. Well, not really anything.
But is it wild or what?
It's definitely like crazy.
But
I don't want to tell. I don't want to even linger here for too long because I'm going to accidentally give something away. But yeah, we're Whole Cake is going to come out for YouTube members and Patreon members tomorrow, and then Thursday for everybody else. There is cosplay. We are both cosplayed out in this one as well. If you are a YouTube and Patreon member, we just uploaded a Patreon exclusive YouTube exclusive podcast with us still in the cosplay from recording that episode.
Yeah, we went from straight into that episode after recording the Whole Cake one. So yeah, and yeah, no, we haven't read Wano yet. We're getting into it at the beginning of next month.
Yes,
and there'll be only 4 episodes left of our One Piece journey until we go weekly.
Yeah,
and we're gonna try to make it, an event.
Yeah, we
and we hopefully we'll have some collabs lined up.
Yeah,
for Wano.
Sure.
We still have to get Roger Base on at some point. Teching to come back would be great. And some other people we haven't collaborated with yet would be awesome too. But yeah, we got to get on it.
Yeah, it's gonna be so fun. I mean, technically now after completing the Reverie, the next arc that we're it's so crazy because to just say after this long journey, like after this like amazing like roller coaster, to say that like now that I've completed the Reverie, that I technically the next thing there is to read is Wano, like,
and you've heard it like murmurs of like Wano, and you're like, damn, like I don't even know what to expect.
Yeah.
And people like Nolan, my cousin, who Nolan the Liar, has been on episodes before of One Piece. He's just like every chapter.
Yeah.
Every chapter. It's
at a certain
insane.
point for sure.
I'm like, what,
bro? In the Reverie,
what do you mean?
There are moments. Can you read it today? Can you read it today? I mean, it's I like.
You can't keep it to yourself.
There are moments where you're just like jaw-dropping moments, You're
getting teary-eyed. Oh my gosh, it's bringing tears to your eyes.
It's great.
You're emotional.
I am emotional, but yeah, Wano month is gonna be lit. Megan's already like kind of like tried on some of her cosplay and stuff, and bro, fire. I mean, she's got fire cosplays lined up for almost every single episode. I've got like 2, lined up, and I'm trying to think of the other two, and then I'm trying to like decide what I want to do for
I have two that are like pretty much set. I do need to make other things for them, but then I do have one that I would like to do possibly, but it is just so crazy, like wow.
Yeah.
And today's Monday, tomorrow we get new Chainsaw Man, which we'll be talking about. We talk about the part 2 of Chainsaw Man every Wednesday when we go live in our community live, so if that's something you're interested in, we do that every Wednesday before when the chapters come out on Tuesday. So
so
it is bittersweet. It is definitely bittersweet to see us at the end. I want to make like I said this for Berserk 2, which I kind of started on doing, but we did show that. Yeah, we did. Did I make that? Who made that?
I can't remember. I think I can't remember. It was like a compilation of all the episodes leading up to the end of Berserk. I can't remember truly who made that. I think I did, and then you.
I think I did because I added the muse. I don't know, but
I don't remember.
Yeah, I want to make a whole video, a whole cake video.
A whole ass cake video.
Yeah, a whole ass cake video.
No, like a compilation.
Yeah, of what we've of the journey we've been on, because I think it's so funny to look back on some of our like early thoughts about like Luffy and the crew, and just see how much we've grown to love this series. It's at the start just being like, this was cool, and then like me, finally getting introduced to Chopper and loving Chopper, and then like Usopp, like how much we've gone.
Yeah,
we've gone down the road, road Poneglyph.
Just the look on your face. Paladin Berserker Jedi Romance Dawn version 1 Wanted chapter 0. So I did read Romance Dawn version 1, but I still need to read Wanted and chapter 0. But I did read Romance Dawn version 1, and we do want to talk about that stuff at some point as well. For sure. It's so crazy. I mean, okay, I can't talk about it, but Wednesday's gonna be lit. We're gonna talk about more Chainsaw Man stuff, and it's so hard to do. I mean, we just wanted to go, back to doing a classic Volume 1 review, reading something that we don't that we don't feel like gets talked about a lot. It's exciting that that this got announced for an anime. So, and it being from the mangaka of Goodnight Punpun, we really wanted to talk about the first volume of a new series, like we are going to continue to do every other Monday live. But now, just like that we're at the end of it, I'm just living in Wednesday, baby. I'm so excited for Wednesday because we got more Chainsaw Man that we're going to be talking about. Some One Piece live action news. We're going to be talking more about, I'm sure Mehgan will have probably, no pressure, but read the Reverie at that point. So we're not going to give too much away, but we'll be maybe talking a little bit about that. Just so many things to react to, so many things to talk about, so many things to cover on Wednesday. It's going to be so much fun. So definitely tune in Wednesday. We do those a little earlier, 10:30, 11 a.m. our time, PST. But yeah, I think we can wrap it up here for today because I have to go edit that.
Because I have to go to the bathroom.
As I have to take the fattest shit in the history of
shites.
In the history of shits. I have to go edit that whole Cake Island Part 2 video so that it's available for everybody tomorrow. But yeah, dude, I'm so excited, and I hope you guys are excited too. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a lot of fun on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and we're always open to suggestions for volume 1s that we do cover. You can comment on this video. You can comment on any one of our other videos, something that you would like to see us read or react to. Hopefully soon, we will be doing more definitely anime reactions and also just anime season reviews, which is something that we've kind of been taking a break from because we've been so invested in like One Piece and also reading Bleach. Like when Bleach does come out, we will be doing that 1,000-Year Blood War arc mix up. We might be doing some of the chapters versus mixed with some of the episodes, stuff like that. So that'll be super fun. But let us know. Recommendations are always welcomed.
Yes, recommendations are always super welcomed. I just think this is great too. The last couple of comments from the chat we'll read is Dawn Simpson saying, by the way, they got to tell us that you guys, my name is literally Dawn D. Simpson. Totally perfect for a One Piece fan. Can you imagine being a One Piece fan and literally having D as a middle name? Like, it doesn't get any better than that.
Doesn't.
It's like you were born. One Piece was made for you. You were born to be a fan of this series.
Damn, I'm jealous.
And we're going to do a whole...
Now, y'all know full well we got a whole Discord channel full of recommendations.
Yeah,
We do. But I just like to open it up to everyone else, too.
We do.
And we do have a shit ton, which we probably won't get to until we're 65, so...
Yeah, Boys Abyss next. Zatchbell Volume 10. Guys, when we catch up with Bleach, which we're almost like... Again, we only have a couple episodes... like literally like 2 or 3, and then we're caught up with Bleach, and then one a month. I mean, we're still gonna do One Piece videos after that, but in terms of like what our next volume done is gonna be, we're gonna have to dedicate a whole live stream, and we're gonna have to get everybody in here, and we're gonna have to make an event out of it, because whatever we choose next, like I want it to be something that people want to see.
But we want to read.
And I want to get everybody's input on it. And I want us to all kind of, as much as we can, try to figure it out together.
Yeah. Preferably not another shonen series.
Kristen DF Christian or Kristen DF, like D, like there's like, imagine like having, sorry, I'm just reading.
D?
I'm just reading other people who have D as a middle initial. That's like, I wish. I'm going to change my name. Someone said in the beginning of the stream when I was saying fuck the government, they were saying Josh D. Dragon, which I'm going to change. That's going to be my new legal name.
That's wild.
All right, guys, we're going to call it here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another Volume 1 live stream. Wednesday, and then Thursday, Whole Cake Island Part 2. Wednesday, Community Live, Whole Cake 2. I'm going to say it over and over so you don't forget. But the last thing we got to do before we get out of here today is we got to get out of here on our outro that is always the same and never changes. And on days like today, we like to defer to the chat. So after,
snatch your bodies.
Yeah, I think we got it actually. Yeah.
Body or snatches.
Until next time.
Body or snatches.
Body.
Snatch bodies.
Body those snatches. Maybe that's a little aggressive.
Body those snatches. Get your snatch bodied.
Get your snatch bodied. Yeah. Until next time, get your snatch bodied. Got to do it. All right, guys, that's it for today. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night, wherever you're at, whatever time it is. We love you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out with us. Let me make sure I got the right screen queued up. Until next time. What did we say? How did we say? Wait. Get your bodies. No, Get your snatches bodied. Get your snatch bodied.
Get your snatch bodied.
All right.
Okay.
As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time,
get your snatch bodied. Get it bodied. Get it bodied. Oh.
Get it bodied. Oh. Get it bodied. Oh. Get it bodied.
Get it bodied. Get it bodied.
Get it bodied. Hey. Get it bodied.